Hello. So, set it up. Hi. So we put the LED here and wait a second. Make another light. Not really call me and put some here. So it's okay. Right? So what do you want to do? You saw the thumbnail, you want a little clock. We do it, right? So shortly, I'm Ben, web developer and DevOps engineer and other descriptions. We don't want to talk about this. We want to build a clock, right? So recently, I found a clock on YouTube. It's pretty nice. So neomorphism style, built with static HTML and CSS, and I like it. The design. So, and it's made 2 years ago from a guy of YouTube, and I thought, yeah, it's nice, but we could make it actually better and in a modern way. So like, not actually with CSS, and not only with HTML, maybe better. So we built it in Svelte. Or Angular? No, we built it in Svelte today, at least. I'll make another video with Angular, but Svelte. And we built it with Tailwind and CSS utility framework, where we can actually put just classes on our HTML elements and maybe make everything a bit easier. So I show you the clock I meant. So it's this. Not this one. This one. So you see, there's yeah. I don't have to explain the clock. I hope anyone knows what the clock is, and we just want to rebuild it and give it here there a few tweaks to make it actually better. So to begin with, we started to have a Visual Studio Code window, right? And I set up. Oh wait, intro? Nah, no, I don't have one yet. So let's start and just in it svelte. So svelte next to give the latest, or to get the latest one. So you wanted to have a project name. We call it YouTube neomorphism CSS clock. Good. Just wanted to have a skeleton project with TypeScript support and linting and formatting and no, not testing. Who do unit tests? No, kidding. Yeah, we enter the folder, insert the dependencies. But in the next move, we add actually tailwind, of course. So we need music. That's better. So, okay. What we want to do, we install dev dependencies. We need tailwind CSS. We need auto prefixer. We need post CSS. And we need a svelte process package. So, okay, yeah. While he's installing, I open the correct window. We have some packages. We should be able to run the dev server already and open up these in a tiny window besides. So on port 3000 there is now our svelte app. So next we have to init the configuration for tailwind CSS. and put it in a different config name, that is tailwind.config.cgs, and the P for the post-process config. We have just configure skeletons. We have to change the content here. It's basically every svelte file in every directory of our source folder for now. So therefore we also need an app.css with these three basic tailwind statements. These app.css we have to import somewhere, and therefore we just create an layout svelte file. So with a script tag, and there we import the CSS file. Yeah, and I think that's it. Have to slot it. We jump into our svelte config and add post CSS. That is true. Who can read? The glow pattern is not right, because why we did that? Strange. Okay, there you see. Yeah, actually tailwind is working. And we start creating our block. For later we need a script section where we put some variables. We actually can, no, we do it later. So, and we do need a basic layout and something which I put in the video description. We need a clock. So to shorten up the video a bit at least. So we know we wanted to make it full screen, so we add for start H screen and W screen to make it full size. You don't see actually something because we don't have a background. So one way to actually have a background is take one, but it's nice, not nice at all, cool. So but we want use this color and have just a gradient in the background. So we use a darker slate color and let it grade from the left side, from a dark side to the right side. To let's have slate 700 and make then the background gradient from the left side to the bottom right side. So that's nice. So we know that we have to position elements in here and want it to be centered. Also have here a transition for later when we do animate things to be actually smooth. This flex container will be column based, so it's directionally upwards. We have to center again on the one axis and on the other. In here come the first part. We just call it clock to find it later. And this clock, of course, have a specific width. So we put it here H and A and W 69. It should be around 380 pixels. We also have a flex container. It's also centered and also on the vertical axis. So and then comes the first part where we put our picture as a background image. So a BG, and then I explain it in a second. So a BG is for background, of course, and in the brackets that's an arbitrary value. Like not a predefined class of tailwind. It's a value you can overdefine. I like to have a border around it. So and the border color will be also in our palette. But woo, yes, oh, that is cornery. No, we want it circularly, right? And so for now, but I think it's missing here's a big cover. Yes, so from where I put 400, it's 800. So yeah, there's some mixing with a gradient in the background because it's overlapping the color palette. Right. So because we know we have to have some before elements and we want it to be on the set index in the upfront. So, and within our clock, to close the div. And yeah, what do we begin with? We begin with the dot in the middle. Yeah, it's an absolute position that we want it in the center, and not relative to the parent elements. We want it about 10 pixels across, and also in height we have it on the one of the upper levels, and then in the color palette of our we want it to be a cycle. We make it a bit darker and make the opacity halved. So yes, that's nice. So yeah, we wanted to make the clock pointers for the minutes, the hours, and of course the seconds. Yeah, actually we need 3 containers. All of them are flags. Every container will have a justify centered. Everything is absolute. Could be a nice slogan for something. And the before element is also absolute to position and style it right. So then a before element is 2 means 4 pixels, right? 4 pixel in width, and also before. Ooh, that's a long line. Okay. We have 3 different sized pointers, right? So a short one for the hours. We got it's absolute again, with the same dimensions like the parent element. It's rounded full to be a cycle again. So we make a style section, just a class, new clock, and the box shadow. I will erase that. It's for later. Yeah, a box shadow. It's actually 4 box shadows, which are positioned in a way it looks like it's shining from the one side and put a shadow on the other, but also make a box shadow within the actual cycle to give it deep. So that's better. Okay. So we saw the first one. We just duplicate, move it down, make this a bit longer, 20 I guess. Have to figure this out. Yeah, it's a bit longer. And the last one is it's the second pointer. We close the original div, copy this one, and make them. Oh, we also already have them 40, and make this also 40. So you're starting to see that it's overlapping with the number ticks on the outer ring, and it's kind of cool. But I think it's cooler if we add a blur to it. This is the glass morphism style, so we add a backdrop. a backdrop filter, so, and we blur it for just a decent amount. So that's nice. So it's svelte, it's cool. Basically, when we put a variable here, like hour, and give it a value, we can actually reference it directly in our code. And when we put it here, so with see the brackets, and just reference it, you see it's there. So, but we don't want it to display it in this way. We wanted to move the pointer or rotate the pointer with an amount of degree. So therefore we have to recalculate or calculate these hours to a degree so that the pointer is rotated. First things first, we need a date, actually, where we could put a date. So, and for simplicity reasons, we just make an interval with a callback function where we ever assign the date value. This was a pretty nice suggestion, I guess. So date is correct, but we start to have all the right places here. So here will be minutes, and here will be the seconds. So it's obviously not working because we don't have the variables now. So it's minutes and seconds. So everything is laying above. And now this interesting part comes. So we create a variable saying degree, and make it 6. And we start at the end defining the seconds. So, but multiple with the degree value, and also plus 100. Well, we save it. We don't actually see one because we just labeled it. But we wanted to turn, like I said before, we wanted to rotate the pointers. So we make a transform, rotate on the z-axis, put then the actual value in here, following by unit measurement. And that should it. So you see, one pointer is moving. Great. So you already see if the pointers come over a place where a tick or a number is, this background blur comes in place and really looks actually nice. So okay, so one arrow is moving, just have to do it for the other ones. So minutes, also have a date get minutes. Yeah, actually it's great. It's the same. Wait, it's the same. Not the same. It's not the same because we have to copy this into our other elements. Doing here a rotation for the minutes, removing the minutes label, and doing here the same for the hour, removing also the hour label. So that is, oh, that's actually mirrored on the vertical axis. So we have to put 180 degrees, half, to add 100 degrees on every rotation axis. So we have to adjust the hour pointer to. So we see we said date get hours, and also we multiple with 30. Yeah, that was a nice suggestion. We divided by 12, and the 180 degrees is for the mirroring, so this should be fine. So it's nice. It's nice. It's actually nice. Yeah, it looks nice and it's okay. It's flicking. It has no smoothness. So therefore, we wanted. No, not this. We want every pointer element. We select all our 3 pointers and add also an transition class to it, so it's more smooth and moving and rotating. We had to create keyframes out. So and for this animation, we don't just change the opacity, we change the box shadow itself to have a kind of color transitions, for every box shadow we have. And when we have the pull out keyframes, we had to apply this. We do it to our just created new class. Just created minutes ago. No, but we want to pull out over really long time, ease in out, infinite to see it the whole time. What? I think it looks kind of cool when we have another border in here. We take it this way. And we have a grayish color dividing by an opacity. We make it 1 pixel. Yeah, that's nice. 1 pixel white, and it's solid looking, so giving really decent amount of border to it. There's some flickering. I don't like flickering, and what we do therefore is we use svelte to just render the clock, if the minutes, and basically all the variables we need in the code are defined. So we make this if statement and encapsulate the part we just wanted to render when it comes when the variables are defined. But we just wanted to make this fade here. So because fade is a basically easy animations, we just added to our tailwind config to maybe have it later too. So it's kind of like writing CSS. We have a keyframe, and the keyframe had a name. We call it fade in, and there it goes from 0% opacity, closing. It's at the end is 100%, opacity of 1, closing 2. Okay, and then we have an animations block where we can define the keyframes to classes and animation configuration, like you see in the background, but we call it fade in. the keyframes actually these, and the rest is okay, I guess. We just need a colon here, and then we can actually use it, I guess. We want it on the clock. We want not animation pulse. We then have an animation created. So show it. Ah, that's nice, right? For the neomorphism style to be on the outer ring, so we call it outer. We put another class because it's you can configure it with tailwind, because when you even put an arbitrary value into the box shadow class of tailwind, it just wanted to compress it into one value, which is not possible because we want four back shadows actually, and therefore we sadly need to create extra classes. So and we call it yeah, neo for the outer ring. Outer. So there he is. That is nice, right? So we wanted to have the same animation. Actually not, because when we have the same animations and there are different colors, it's actually not that nice. So just reloading, you see it's kind of okay, but it's harsh. No, we don't want it this way. For the outer ring, we just create another keyframes and call it pull out outer. How it calls. So and put it, oh, I have to, so outer. So spell it right. So that is better. That's actually looking nice, right? Woo, we have a clock. Nice done. Yeah, see you next time.